Hey, welcome to Great Family Adventure. This is Abraham Oluwatosin Adeyemi. In my video today, I want to talk about buying a farmland in Nigeria. So what are the things that you need to consider when it comes to buying a farmland in Nigeria? There are so many Nigerians abroad that want to start a farmland in Nigeria. So, how can you acquire, how can you get a farmland in Nigeria? Now, I'm not going to talk about the factors, okay? I'm not going to talk about the factors regarding buying of farmland in Nigeria. I just want to talk about how can you get a farmland in Nigeria. Number one, now there are so many agents in Nigeria that will actually help you to get a good farmland. They know the terrain, they know where good farmland is, and they can actually, get to a good farmland. And secondly, you can go to the chief, the obas, and in those remote villages, and they can get you a farmland in Nigeria. And I would go for obas instead of going for agent, because those obas, they can be very straightforward and they can be very honest, and you will have adequate paperwork from the family, okay? And they will always tell you what they will give you options, because I've dealt with different people like that. So they are very straightforward people, the chief and the obers. So if you want to get a farmland, you can actually get it from from the agents, from the chief or kings in that community where you want to get a farmland. And the third one is you can actually get it from the government. Now, there are so many reserves, there are so many places that government has reserved for agricultural purpose where you can actually go and farm. So you can approach the government and talk to them to show you where the government's lands are that they are selling. Now, there's millions of farmland that the government has reserved for farm purposes that you can use for your own agricultural purposes. Now, the chief and kings are reliable. The government land is reliable, but the government land, sometimes it is expensive. The agent, it is expensive, and the chief is more cheaper. Getting land from the chief or the kings is more cheaper because you are dealing with them directly. And sometimes the government can be also cheap, depending on how you get to that person. But the agents, how they inflate the price, they bring their own price, they try to dupe you. So if you are trying to get a farmland in Nigeria, you can actually do that. Now let's talk about the factors when trying to get a farmland. Depending on what you want to do, what do you want to raise? You want to go to cropping or animal or livestock, whatever. What do you want to raise? Now you have to consider a good road network. Okay, now every farm, if you want to have a good farm, you must consider a good road network, because if there is no good road network, number one, you will not be able to access your farm, you will not be able to get to your destination. And also you need to consider the water source. Okay, a lot of farmers, when they plant, they don't have water source. That is also affecting. And also you have to be consider the people, the locality, the terrain of where you will be getting the farmland. Okay, is the place secure? Their security? What are the information? So make sure you get every information. And let me give you this warning: when you are getting a farmland, try as much as possible to get your paperwork. Try as much as possible to get your paperwork, because this will really help you in the long run. Sometimes people can try to dupe you in the future. So if you want to spend money, try as much as possible to get a lawyer involved so that they can give you proper documentation of your land for what you are buying. Alright, I hope this has been a blessing, how you can get a farmland in Nigeria and the factors that you need to consider when buying a farmland in Nigeria.